Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ohio Eats, where me and Kim go to places in Ohio and eat.
Yay!
Today we went to Canton, Ohio, and went to Gervasi's Winery. That's how you say it, right? Gervasi?
Sure.
Probably.
Gervasi?
Yeah. Gervasi.
Sure.
Tomatoes.
Potato.
Anywho, so they actually have a few different restaurants on property. We went to the Crush House, which is their more casual restaurant. Still pretty upscale, but they have one called the Bistro, which is like the upscale.
We would probably have to dress up to go there.
I don't know if you have to do that or not, but you do generally need a reservation. It's highly recommended. At least the Crush House has no reservations, which is why we went, because we decided, well, the day of filming it today, that we were going to go there. So yeah. We have never, either of us had never been there. It was a very cute little area.
Oh, yeah.
It was very nice, very quaint.
It was like a little Italian village kind of set up, because it was all, because it's more than just, it's a vineyard.
Right.
So you've got like the grapevines all over the place, like the trees and stuff like that. And then you've got all these different buildings, and they have villas that you can stay in. And then there's a hotel and a bunch of other different buildings with, restaurants or other little things you can visit, like a store and stuff like that.
Right. It's like a full-on little wine resort. Yeah. Yeah, the place was really cool. And there's trails you can walk around and stuff like that. So I guess we'll start by talking about the drinks, since if you're going here, that's probably going to be something that's pretty important to you anyways. So we started by we did a little wine sampler thing. Each of us got 3. I don't remember everything that was brought to us. I know one of the things was, I think I tried the Dulce Serra. That was good. It was a sweet white. I believe that was one of them.
I had the Romanza, which was their rosé.
Uh-huh.
I also had their Lambrusco, which was a white Lambrusco. Normally it's red. And I had, I can't recall the one that she gave me.
It was white as well, correct?
It might have been Ciao Bella.
I think that sounds correct.
Because I asked for a recommendation from our waitress, and she's like, this is a very popular staff one, and I'm pretty sure it was the Ciao Bella.
Yep. And then I got, I'm going to murder if I try and say it, the Bergante? Yeah, Bergante, I believe is how that's said. And that was a sweet red. And then there's, like I said, that white wine. And then there was another one. I just don't know what she gave me, but it was a more dry red wine. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was very good. And then I also had a cocktail as well, a lavender mojito. That was really good. If you like lavender, I highly recommend trying that out. Oops. And I also got a glass of their white wine to go with, their ice wine to go with dessert, and their ice wine is called Sagnata. That was very good, the white wine was.
Yeah, I ended up getting a glass of the Lambrusco because I just thought it was so delicious. And that's about it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the drinks were really good. All the wine was really good. Like I said, the ice wine was... if you're a fan of that, definitely try their ice wine. Now, ice wine's not for everyone because it is very sweet. It is more of a dessert wine, and I like both. I like dry reds, sweet reds, and really only sweet whites. I don't like dry white. I just don't like white wine very much. Kim likes white wine more than I do. But ice wine is a white wine, but it really doesn't taste like wine at all.
Oh my gosh.
It has its own thing. If you've never had it before, do yourself a favor and try it next time you're at someplace. So now we will get into food. So for an appetizer, it was a spinach and artichoke dip, but it was, it wasn't a spinach and artichoke dip. It was artichoke and goat cheese dip. There was no spinach. Which had sweet and spicy bacon, lemon zest, and it was served with pita chips.
It was so good. Oh my gosh. The bacon was kind of like a caramelized bacon.
Yeah, it really was. It did have a sweetness, but there was also some, I don't know if it was cayenne or what, but there was definitely a kind of spice on there, which was really good. Then the goat cheese dip itself, I've never had goat cheese before. It's a very mild cheese, and it was just very rich and creamy, light flavored, but in a really good way. It did not feel heavy like most cheese dips do.
No, not at all.
But absolutely delicious. Kim actually described, and this is pretty accurate, the consistency and kind of the taste similar to a beer cheese soup.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't get that real hoppy aftertaste, but it did have a
Right.
little bit of a funk, a little bit of a, you know.
I don't know if that was from the goat cheese or maybe
would-
they put like some of their wine or something in it because it has
Well,
had
the
this
lemon
like
zest. I don't think there's
maybe
wine.
the lemon zest. Yeah.
But the artichokes can kind of give it a little bit of that taste as well. The
Yeah.
artichokes don't have much, but it will give things like a little bit of a bitterness. But either way, it was very good. There was a lot of appetizers that sound good, and we plan on going back. But I mean, it's just some things, other things that sounded good. And, the Italian loaded potato chips. Kim loves loaded potato chips.
Potato chips.
That was a big contender, which has crumble pancetta, gorgonzola, scallions, tomatoes, and a blue cheese sauce. Crispy fig crostadas. They have calamari, a bruschetta trio, which it's like 3 different types of bruschetta. Italian meat and cheese plate, of course, for your wine. They have burrata. They also have like a fried, basically fancy mozzarella sticks and crispy risotto cakes. So, if you've had any of those appetizers, let us know which one is your favorites if you've been to this place. And then going to entrees, I'll let you talk about your entree first.
So I got the smoked pork chop. It had a maple demi-glaze, bacon onion jam, and it was served with creamy polenta, and it had shaved Brussels sprouts with it as well.
I forgot that was a jam that was
Yeah.
on top. Okay.
My gosh. It was so good. Like, the pork chop was super tender, really, really juicy. Like, I've never had a pork chop that was that juicy and just delicious before. And it had nice smoky flavor to it. And yeah, it had this bacon onion jam on top that was like, I could have ate a plate of that. Like, they were so good.
Yeah, it was absolutely delicious. Yeah. It's probably the best pork chop I've ever had. Generally, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not usually a huge fan of pork chop places. Like, they're okay, but it's usually not my thing. But this was amazing. I liked it even better than what I had, but what I had was also amazing. It was their seared salmon, cashews, and a mango and plum glaze. The glaze was very good. And they served it over, it was garlic mashed potatoes. Yeah, the salmon was very good. They sear it so the skin gets nice and crispy on it. Not a lot to say. I mean, it was your basic salmon if you've had like really good salmon before. It was that, and the glaze on it was really good as well. Did you mention the Brussels sprouts? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, mine had that as well, the crispy Brussels sprouts. So if you're a fan of salmon and want a good place that has salmon, this place will not disappoint you if that's what you are looking for. Another entree I thought that sounded really interesting, which Kim really was thinking about this one as well, which is the chickpea crusted chicken breast. Just spinach, sun-dried tomatoes, mushrooms, and a red marsala sauce.
Yeah, that's what drew me is I'm like, ooh, I love marsala sauce. Like, love it. And I've never heard of a red marsala sauce before.
Right, yeah,
And it did
that's
intrigue
interesting.
me, so
that might be
maybe
something,
next time.
right? And a couple other, they also have a pasta section. A couple standouts on here for me, at least, is they have a homemade goat cheese ravioli, which is goat cheese filled eggplant meatball. Or it's goat cheese filled raviolis and an eggplant meatball, so it's like a vegetarian meatball, cherry tomatoes, and marinara. They also have a beef gnocchi, which is basically gnocchi with short rib and a red wine demi-glaze. So that sounded really good. They have a few different sandwiches as well, if that's your kind of thing. The one sandwich that sounds good to me is the rosemary roasted beef sandwich. That just sounds interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Short rib sliders, yeah. And then, of course, it was my birthday, so I had to have all the food and all of the things. We also got dessert, which was very good.
Oh my gosh. So we got the tiramisu. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you know what tiramisu, it's espresso soaked ladyfingers with an Italian custard. This had actual like chocolate shavings on top.
Yeah, it was decadent is a great word to describe this
Man.
thing.
And then it also had like a espresso reduction on top, which was like this sticky espresso like syrup on top.
Yep.
And then it was served with it had blueberries and strawberries on it as well.
Which surprisingly went really well. It was so I've had some tiramisu which is like getting punched in the face with coffee. This one had coffee, but it was very light.
Yes.
But everything just was so fresh and like bright tasting. It was very good, and it didn't taste like other tiramisus I've really had.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah, like sometimes you go and it's like very like
Sometimes because of the way it's soaked, it's like really soggy and mushy.
yeah, but like the custard on top is always like too like they didn't whip anything in with the mascarpone, and it's just kind of like this ugh, and it just has this weird taste. And this was very light, not overly mascarpone and
Right. Yeah, I really liked it. And we devoured that thing, and it was a pretty good portion as well.
It was a big piece.
All of the desserts on here honestly sounded pretty good. They have a flourless chocolate truffle torte. It's like a chocolate cake. That looks amazing. A warm blondie, which of course is basically like a caramel brownie. Basically is what a blondie is. It's like a not chocolate brownie. Creme brulee, crispy fig crostadas. They also have a few different gelatos and stuff. They have a butterbeer one, which I kind of wanted to try, but really wasn't in the mood for ice cream. And you can also make their gelatos alcoholic, drown gelato. So they will put, like, for example, the butterbeer one is that in Patron. So I don't really know how that works exactly. If it's, like, mixed together, if it's, like, almost like a float. I really don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't know.
We didn't really ask that, but it is on the menu, so it is interesting. If you've been there and had that, explain to us how it works, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Again, the butterbeer thing, because I love the butterbeer, which it's butterscotch with chocolate pieces is what it says, which they're kind of going with the butterbeer, I assume, from like Universal Studios. Because obviously they've kind of made butterbeer a butterscotch thing. So now when you think of butterbeer, you think of like a butterscotch drink or cream.
Yeah.
Not the disgusting way it was described in the book. But maybe if you like beer, I'm just not a beer drinker. So prices for this place, I feel like, this place it's not the most upscale one because it's not the bistro, but it is still more of an upscale dining experience.
Like a higher moderate
right.
kind of thing.
I feel like for the quality, the prices are very reasonable.
Yeah.
The appetizers are all like really reasonable like that. That was a big portion that we got. It was $10 for the appetizer.
Yeah, like they're between like what, like $9 to $15. $9 to $15 it looks
in
like.
that range there.
Which that's pretty reasonable for an appetizer.
Right. Like my entree was $26. Yours was also $26.
Yeah.
So about the $30 range. My portion size wasn't giant, but I feel like it was decent enough. And again, the quality of everything was good. I feel like your pork chop there's a lot of meat on that thing.
Oh my gosh. It was mostly, the bone was only like this big. And that you'll see in the picture, everything else was meat.
Yeah, it was a lot of meat, so I don't feel like that was overpriced at all. And again, when you go to a place that's nicer, you're going to be paying more because the quality is better and everything is fresh. The pastas are very reasonable. I feel like all of those are under $20, the pastas. They're like in the like $15 to like $19 range there. Because then they have sandwiches options as well. So there's a nice price range if you're wanting to go with a party, but you're like, I don't really want to spend like $60 on myself. There's plenty of things you can pick from that aren't going to break the bank as well when you go there. But yeah, I really enjoyed the time there, and I'm looking forward to going back and trying some of the other stuff. Like we want to try out the one place that's like a coffee bar and stuff like that. What was that one called? The Still House.
Still House.
Which is where they make some of the liqueurs, I guess, and stuff, because they do more than just wine now there as well. But they have, like, that's a cocktail lounge / coffee place, and they have, like, lighter fare, like, more appetizers, like fondues that look really good. Like, they have a chorizo fondue, which I love chorizo, so I want to try that at some point in time. But, yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff there, and I'm surprised that neither of us have been there before, because it's not that far from us. But yeah. But, yeah, again, let us know if you've been there, what you thought of it. Let us know any place you would like us to go. If you have a restaurant, ask us to come, we'll come and do a review. And as we always, we like to say, try and eat local and not go to fast food places whenever possible if you're eating out, because places deserve that, and there's all kinds of price ranges. You can get stuff for basically as cheap as your fast food as you can from a local place.
I mean, you'd be surprised at like the local places how much like
Right.
really good food you can find.
Even like food trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to. Where I live, there's not a lot of them. But I would like to do something like that too. That would be a fun episode to kind of like try things at different food trucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if you think that's a good idea, I guess. But yeah, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share with anybody you might think would enjoy this video. Tag them in like the comments or whatever. Like if I share this on Facebook, that helps us out a lot. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.